First video we have is why it sucks to be a Witcher. I'm saying, you know the show. I know the show. We all know the show, right? The Witcher and the game. If you know, you know the game. But it's a very popular game. I think there's 3 installments of that too. And basically, we had a little like background of like Geralt and his upbringing. Like, if you play the game, I guess you know. And in the show, it's not as clear as day, like how the fuck that they came to be. I think maybe in the third or second season, they were at like the training camp at which they bred the Witchers and trained them and shit. But still, I think it would be a good idea to understand play by play, step by step, how it is to be a Witcher, and apparently why it sucks to be a Witcher. So, saying the video's only 23 minutes long. I'm saying grab some popcorn, grab something to eat. Let's get right to it, man.
Congratulations.
Actually, matter of fact, let me get my headphones. Get my headphones and switch this. There we go.
You're a human boy, but here's the thing. Your fate was already sealed before you were even born, and you have no idea. Your parents are peasant farmers in the kingdom of Temeria. Your father works the fields, your mother tends the house, and they're not wealthy, but they're surviving. You have 2 older siblings, and life is simple. Hard, but simple. But that's all about the change. To explain why, we need to rewind to 7 years before you were born. One evening, your
Wait, this is the 1100s? Is this around when the Black Plague was rampant and shit? To be honest, this look too sophisticated for 1100s. I think 1100s them niggas was wearing, like bathrobes and shit. I didn't know that they was riding around with horse and carriage then. When the fuck was castles and I guess you have the Roman Empire? When was all that? I'm thinking like that's around like the 1300s. It's like 200 years prior.
father was traveling to a
I gotta
neighboring town when something
my
attacked
knowledge
him
on
from the
history.
darkness. A creature with leathery wings and
The actual hell
razor-sharp
is that?
talons. He was thrown to the
Oh,
ground,
I forgot it's sci-fi. I thought we being realistic for a second.
certain he was about to die. Then, out of nowhere, a man appeared. He had cat-like eyes that seemed to glow in the dim light, and he carried 2 swords on his back, one steel, one silver. The stranger fought the creature with inhuman speed and precision, killing it in minutes. When it was over, the man revealed himself as a Witcher, a professional monster hunter. And for saving your father's life,
Mind you, these Witchers always look like they just mad. Oh, this one always look like he just mad bored. Like it's just nonchalant. Like, bro, it's what it is. I'm glad if I was born a Witcher, that should be. I was gonna say that should be so cool, but actually, never mind. Them niggas live grim ass lives, bro, fighting to the death. And I guess until they died, can a Witcher retire? I don't think there's ever been a Witcher that's lived long enough to retire. Geralt, but you know what I'm saying? You're always supposed to look at the mass majority, not the exception to the rule. Because exception to rule is never the rule. It's the exception.
he was now owed a great debt of gratitude. So the Witcher invoked the Law of Surprise. You see, the Law of Surprise is an ancient custom as old as humanity itself. It's a way of claiming payment through destiny. The law dictates that a man saved by another is expected to offer to his savior a reward that is unknown to one or both parties. The words are simple. Give me that which you already have, but do not yet know about. It sounds harmless. Strange
To
even.
a kid.
Why not just ask for money?
He wants
For
a
someone
kid.
as desperate and poor as your father, this law of surprise seems like it's not a big deal. But he's very, very wrong. The Witcher nodded and disappeared into the night, and your father went home, thinking he'd just gotten away with something.
That
But when
nigga's
he
went
arrived,
right back
my
in the
mother
forest.
told him she was pregnant. She'd only just realized it herself. Your father's blood ran cold. He had something he didn't know about. An unborn child. You. Thanks to the law of surprise, you had been claimed before you even existed. 7 years pass. You grow up on the farm, chasing chickens, helping with small chores, sleeping warm and safe in your family's house. You have no idea what's coming.
And all
Then
that's
one
about to
day,
change.
a stranger arrives at your door. Your father recognizes him immediately. He's the Witcher who saved his life 7 years ago. The Witcher looks at you, then at your father. "I've come to claim what's mine," he says. Your father's face goes pale. Your mother starts crying. You don't understand what's happening, but you can feel the tension in the room, the weight of something terrible and unchangeable. The Witcher explains that you were promised to him through the law of surprise. You belong to him
As a
now.
kid,
The
why the
law
fuck I
isn't
care about that?
enforced by
I'm trying to be with
soldiers or courts.
my folks.
It's enforced by destiny, by tradition, and by the fear of what happens when you break it. They say that refusing the law brings great misfortune, and that one way or another, fate will kill you if you refuse. Your mother considers refusing, but witches have a reputation, and your father owes this man his life. Besides, feeding 3 children is hard enough. The Witcher offers them a small amount of coin. Not much, but enough to make the winter a little easier. You watch your mother cry as the Witcher takes your hand. You don't want to go. You're 7 years old and your comfortable life on the farm is over. He takes you north towards the Blue Mountains, leaving behind everything you've ever known. You travel together for weeks, and during the long journey, he explains.
Oh, bro, I feel like damn, well, my brain, bro. I feel like the worst part about this would honestly have to be sitting there for weeks, traveling. Because after, I say, about like 3 days, you've talked about everything. Now you're sitting there and you're just wondering how much longer. Knowing you're 3 days in, and you have weeks to go. Damn, bro, that sounds boring.
Explains what you're going to become, and the news doesn't sound good.
And mind you have all this time. You're wondering like, yo, what are we gonna do? What am I gonna become? Why am I gonna become this nigga with cat eyes and shit? Like, what's next for me? What's in store for me? You gotta sit there in your mind for weeks. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid to be in my mind. Shit.
Tells you the world is
Scary place
crawling
to
with
be.
creatures from other dimensions, and your job will be to hunt them down and kill them, one by one, for the rest of
Hey,
your
at least the
very
job ain't boring,
long life. But only if you survive. He teaches you how to identify tracks, how to move silently in forests, and most importantly, how to survive when everything wants you dead. And while your life is about to get drastically more complicated, building a real life business doesn't have to be, thanks to today's sponsor, Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one business you're going in the 1100s. That's right, get one entire build. Choose your theme and color palette, then send to Odoo for sponsoring this video. He's taking you to Kaer Morhen, an ancient fortress in the Blue Mountains of Kaedwen that is only accessible by a
Kaer
treacherous mountain
Morhen.
path. The climb is cold and dangerous, and you're terrified
And
the
this nigga's just
entire
jumping
way.
up there.
You finally arrive at Kaer Morhen. It looks impressive until you realize that this will be your prison for the next few years. When you walk through the courtyard, you see around a dozen other boys, aged from around 7 to 12. Like you, some were given in exchange to pay off a debt, but others were sold by their desperate parents or are orphans who had nowhere else to go. You also see older witches with scars all over their body, fingers burned, and a face with the kind of 1,000-yard stare that comes from seeing too much death. These men will be your mentors. This massive stone fortress you're in
Yo, what's good,
is
Cash?
partially ruined and never fully rebuilt. That's because centuries ago, Kaer Morhen was attacked
We're watching what's life like to be a witcher. Apparently why it sucks to be a witcher. To be honest, to be born a witcher, that shit seemed calm to me.
by a
I
mob
don't know.
led by mages who feared and despised witches. The fortress was sacked, and most of the witches and apprentices were slaughtered. The School of Wolf, which trains witches here, never fully recovered. Where there used to be hundreds of witches, now there are maybe a dozen old ones left, and they only take in a handful of boys every few years. The training begins immediately, and it's beyond anything a child could ever handle. You wake up before dawn every day for physical conditioning, running up and down mountain paths with weighted packs, combat drills with wooden swords, learning to move silently,
Mind you, this is the easy part too. Like this shit
and
like
building endurance. The witches who train you are cold and distant. If you can't keep up with combat drills, you get hit hard. You're also taught to read and write, which is actually unusual because most peasants are illiterate. Witches need to read bestiaries and contracts, recognize magical symbols, and understand alchemical formulas. You study monster biology, learning the differences between neckers and drowners, how to identify a Bruxar versus a higher vampire, what oils and potions work on what creatures. As a Witcher, you have to memorize hundreds of books to know how to hunt and kill every type of monster out there. The training is brutal, and the other boys become your brothers in suffering.
That would be my best part, honestly. Learning how to kill each type of monster. That would honestly be like my favorite part of all this training.
Share the same dormitory, eat the same terrible food, and get the same brutal punishments when you fail. Which happens a lot. But it's not the worst part. The worst part is knowing what's coming. You see, Witcher training has two phases. First, there's the physical and mental training that lasts for years. You're taught swordsmanship, specifically a Witcher's style that uses both a steel sword for humans and mundane beasts, and a silver sword for monsters born or altered by magic. You also learn alchemy.
Oh, so that's why they use silver in The Witcher. I always knew it was for monsters, but I never knew specifically why monsters need silver. I thought just because like maybe you can't slice them with a regular, but because of they were altered with magic and born. I don't understand that part, but altered with magic. Okay, that makes sense.
How to brew potions and oils from monster parts and herbs. But all of this is just preparation for the second phase, the trial of the grasses. It's a deadly, inhumane, and downright evil rite of passage that will either turn you from a Witcher apprentice to an actual Witcher, or kill you. And at 12 years old, it's your turn. The Trial of the Grasses is a series of alchemical mutations that transform a normal human into a Witcher. It involves ingesting a combination of mutagenic compounds, extracts from rare herbs and monster essence, that fundamentally alter your biology. The process is excruciatingly painful and has a mortality rate of around 7 in 10. That means most boys who undergo the trial die screaming.
You give me an option, I'm not doing it. 7 out of 10, that's too high for me.
You trained for years knowing this was waiting for you. You watched the other boys train alongside you, becoming your friends, knowing that most of them will be dead before they even become teenagers.
No, that's 7 out of 10 of them. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then probably like 4 out of 6. Yeah, bro, 4.5 out of 6.
You're brought down to the laboratory beneath Kaer Morhen. It's a cold, stone-filled room with alchemy equipment and tables with restraints. They strap you down and give you the first mutagen, a foul-tasting liquid that burns your insides going down. Within minutes, the pain spreads. It feels like your blood is boiling, like your bones are breaking and reforming, and like your eyes are melting. You scream until your throat is raw, then pass out from the pain. Once you wake up, they give you another mutagen, and the process repeats for days. And unfortunately,
I thought this was just for hours. This is days?
Surviving the Trial of the Grasses isn't enough, because there's another trial waiting for you. The Trial of Dreams. They give you special mutagens that awaken and expand your senses beyond human limits. These mutations change you fundamentally. You begin to see in darkness, hear heartbeats from across the room, and smell things you never could before. But the process is so intense that most will lose their sanity or die before it's complete. When you finally wake up from this nightmare, everything has changed. Your eyes develop cat-like pupils that can see in near total darkness. Your reflexes become superhuman. You can react faster than any normal human. Your strength increases, your bones become denser, your metabolism changes, so you can survive.
Your bone becomes denser. I like, but that's good though. Superhuman feats for 7 out of 10 mortality rate. I'm glad. I know a couple niggas that would take that chance. I'm saying they gambling. They taking that chance.
On less food and water and can tolerate poisons that would kill any normal person. Your emotions become muted.
Wait,
not intentionally.
You don't need food
your
or
metabolism
water.
Changes, so you can survive on less food and water and can tolerate poisons that would kill any normal person. Your emotions become muted, not intentionally, but as a side effect. You'll still feel things, but they'll be distant, controlled. You're also rendered completely sterile. Witches can't have children. This is a permanent side effect of the mutations. Out of the remaining 6 boys who were still alive when you began the trial, 2 survived. The other 4 died.
4 out of 6! Let's go! I'm saying I know what I'm talking about.
while strapped into the table. One boy's heart
I graduated
simply
finance.
stops.
Come on.
Another's internal organs shut down. The third starts convulsing and doesn't stop until he's dead. Their bodies are buried in the courtyard with all the other boys who died during previous trials. Normally, you'd cry, but now you just feel nothing. You're a different person now. But hey, at least you also got some cool magic powers to make up for the psychological trauma. These
Facts.
powers are called signs. Simple combat magic that witches can cast with one hand. With Igni, you can create fire with your hands to burn your enemies. Queen creates a magic shield around you,
How you do
while
Igni?
Ard is a telekinetic force that can knock enemies back or even break
let me stop.
doors. Odin lets you
point out
create
some shit
magical
I don't
traps
know
that
about.
slow down monsters.
You're
And the
the-
final one, called Axie, lets you
Push.
influence minds and calm
influence
hostile
minds.
creatures. You also learn to create potions that are so toxic they would kill normal humans instantly. You can use them to heal wounds faster, accelerate your reflexes, or to increase your strength. But each one you drink makes you feel like your entire body is burning. If you drink too many of these potions, you'll poison yourself to death. Your training continues for several years. Fighting against simulated monster attacks and preserved specimens, never live monsters, which would be far too dangerous to keep. You're also given the Witcher Medallion, a silver wolf's head on a chain. It vibrates in the presence of magic, serving as an early warning system. This medallion identifies you as a Witcher of the School of the Wolf. After surviving the trials and learning to use your new abilities, you still aren't a Witcher. At least not yet. You still need to pass the Trial of the Mountains. As your final test, you and the others
So
survive.
you telling me I went through all of this, right? Trained my ass off, survived a near death experience from potions that you guys gave me, and I still got to go through another trial. This one better be the easiest part about all
Surviving
this shit.
boys are sent to complete a dangerous journey. First, you need to swim through freezing lakes near Kaer Morhen. Then you need to sneak through the caverns where an old Cyclops sleeps without waking him up, or he would crush you. After
Cyclops
that,
is
you
real.
need to climb Troll's Head while fighting
I
angry
keep forgetting
rock
this is
trolls,
sci-fi.
to finally get to a circle of elements where you activate your medallion to complete the trial. Which, honestly, after everything else you guys have been through, wasn't as difficult as it sounds.
I was about to say, yeah,
You're
this
even
don't
given a
sound
horse,
as bad as
the
everything else.
traditional armor of your school, and 2 swords. One made of silver to fight monsters, and one made of steel to fight men. You can finally start your own journey and travel wherever you want. You're expected to make your own way in the world now, taking contracts to kill monsters and getting paid for it. But here's the problem. People hate witches. You see, witches are mutants. You look human, mostly, but things like your cat eyes give you away immediately. People are deeply uncomfortable around you.
I would be too. Look at them eyes, bro. Them shit look weird. It's like one of the most fearful things about being a human, right? Would be looking at something that looks human but isn't. So yes, we have an innate fear because like when ancestors' time, right? Like cavemen, there was multiple types of humans around. Multiple types of, developing species. But of course, our species, our ancestors are the one that survived. But there was more than one. And then there was this built up fear based around having something that looked like us but wasn't us, if that makes sense. Like your ancestors as cavemen, they looked at something that looked like them but wasn't them. So then they had to decipher between, friend or foe. Most of the time, if it looked like them, it ain't them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all two ain't gonna be friends. Y'all two gonna be fucking, and well, not fuck. Y'all two gonna be enemies, right? So you gotta make sure something that look like you, right? Like that. That's gonna give off warning signs because that's just built within us. Like we shouldn't be surrounded by things that look like us. Like it's if you us, I fuck with that. If you not us, gang. I'm saying, and you're intelligent life form, or you have the capability of hurting me. Yeah, that's enemy number one right there.
They
Fuck
think
everything
you're-
else. Fuck teeth. Fuck how big you are. If you look like me and you have the intelligence and everything like me, you just look like me, but you're not me. Nah, bro. That's probably one of the most scariest things that could ever exist in this world.
Unnatural, that you're barely a human anymore. Parents tell their children stories about witches to scare them into behaving. The priests of the Church of the Eternal Fire calls you an abomination. Your first stop is in a nearby village, and you immediately feel the weight of
I got this nigga put him on a horse. That nigga just chilling on top of the horse.
every person's stare. People see you as a soulless murderer that's closer to a monster than a human. They'll only deal with you when they absolutely need something killed. And even then, they'll treat you like a necessary evil. You continue and eventually find the village notice board where you see that a local farmer wants you to investigate some monsters who had been stealing their grain and attacking travelers on the road. That sounds easy, so you take your contract and approach the farmer, telling him your standard fee. But here's your second lesson about being a witcher. People are incredibly cheap. Even though you're literally one of the few on the continent that could kill these monsters. People will try to negotiate your fees down to almost nothing. Most of them would rather risk their families being eaten by monsters than pay a fair price for professional monster hunting services. You end up accepting the contract for half of what you originally asked. Because being picky means starving, and starving means being too weak for the next contract that might actually kill you. But hey, you got your first mission as a witcher. That's a start. You start looking for clues of the monsters with your enhanced senses and find some tracks of what appears to be neckers. You track them down to their burrow and prepare for your first real fight as a professional witcher. Neckers are only about 3 feet tall, but have claws like razors and teeth that look
Why? Okay, why they make me so short in this though, right? I'm a witcher, like I should be Geralt high, right? Geralt was like what, 6'5" on a good day? Why I look like 3 feet tall? That nigga is up to my eyelids. If something's 3 feet tall and you are right here, gang, bro, you got way more to worry about than some fucking neckers. Trust me.
like needles that could easily rip you apart. They're individually weaker than most monsters, but they are pack hunters that use underground tunnels to surround their prey. The fight begins, and the monsters are way faster than you thought. Their claws tear your leather armor like paper, while they appear and disappear from hidden tunnels, surrounding you in seconds. You have to use everything that you learnt to fight. You use poisons, signs, and every sword move you know. When you finally kill the last Necker, you're covered in blood. It's mostly from them, but a lot of it is also yours. Congratulations, you survived your first mission as a Witcher, and you only nearly died in the process. But this is just the beginning of your long and painful career. Over the next few years, you take contract after contract, learning that life as a Witcher is basically just travel, isolation, and trying to remember which book contains the information you need to kill whatever is trying to eat you this week. You fight drowners, which are fish corpses that hide underwater
That would
and
be
try
probably
to
the
drag you
scariest
down
one
with
to
their
fight.
claws so they can eat you. You also save sheep on a farm from a griffin,
Yeah, I
a
ain't worried about
10-foot
no
tall
griffin.
monster that's half eagle, half lion, with talons that can punch through your armor. One contract almost ends your career when you barely survive fighting a Striga, a cursed woman transformed into a 7-foot creature with enough strength to break stone walls and speed that makes her nearly invisible in darkness.
Yo, imagine a woman had that power, like to be a cursed woman. Like if you scorned them or you made them mad, you cheat on them. Imagine a woman was able to do this to you, cursed, and she gonna forever chase you down. And you have to see that. You have to fight that. I'm saying, like, there's no run from it. You know how you know how little niggas would actually be cheating, actually dating women that they actually fucking like. Bro, like no, gang. Niggas only cheat now. Niggas only do that shit because there's no like repercussion other than just like losing a bitch, bro. You know what I'm saying, if that shit was real, man, I'm telling you that niggas would actually be, you know what I'm saying, some loyal ass people out here.
You fight with her all night, and you only win because the curse breaks at dawn. You survive all of this, but unfortunately, when you're not actively fighting monsters,
Oh, nah, the worst part about all this might be the fact this nigga gave me a fucking bowl cut, nigga. Come on, I'm Geralt of Rivia. Give me white hair and a lion's mane.
life on the road isn't any better. You spend months traveling from village to village, sleeping under the stars or in dirty taverns where people whisper about you behind your back. Most of the time, you're completely alone, with just your horse for company. And even when you do interact with humans, it's purely for business. Finding work becomes harder than you thought. Even though there's a lot of monsters out there, almost no one has the money to pay, or they'd rather just hope that the local guards will deal with them. When you do find real work, clients try to negotiate your fees down, and some villages won't even let you stay overnight, forcing you to
Mind you, I don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? This is the most effective way for you to get rid of the monsters. You have legit an exterminator in front of you, and you're not gonna pay the exterminator what it's worth. I'm gonna move the fuck on. This nigga better than me. I would have killed. Nah, I wouldn't have. GTA.
The camp after you've just risked your life saving them. Your
That's
reputation
crazy, bro.
grows fast, but unfortunately, the
They hate
danger
you
of your
more.
contracts does too. And you
Yeah.
start facing enemies that could wipe out entire armies. You're hired to eliminate a Leshen that's been corrupting an entire forest.
Damn.
And when you finally find it, you understand why these ancient spirits are considered among the most dangerous monsters a Witcher can face. They're massive, 8 to 10 foot tall beings with a body made of twisted wood and moss, with a giant deer skull as a head. The Leshen doesn't just fight you directly, it also commands the entire forest, turning wolves into its guardians, summoning ravens to see all your movements, and causing roots to come from the ground to capture you. Fighting one of these feels like battling an entire ecosystem that wants you dead, but you really understand your limits when you face down a higher vampire. These creatures look completely human until they turn their hands into massive claws and move so fast it seems like they teleport from one place to another. They can also crush
shit.
bones like they were nothing.
Mind you, was any of this in The Witcher? I don't think I've ever seen any of these monsters other than I think the higher vampire. But he was on our team though. Yeah, nah, this crazy.
Turn invisible when they want, and on top of that, they can almost never be killed. Only another high vampire or an extremely powerful Witcher might truly destroy one. In this fight, your confidence is absolutely rocked when you realize that some monsters are simply beyond the Witcher's ability to handle. Sometimes winning means knowing how to run away and hope the
Exactly.
creature doesn't follow you. The
That would be
biggest
me.
problem with being a Witcher is
I know,
dealing
bitter.
with humans. Not every monster contract is actually a monster. Sometimes you arrive at a village to kill a beast and discover it's actually just a person cursed by magic. Or sometimes there's no monster at all, just superstitious peasants looking for a scapegoat. You try to be neutral. Witches have a code. Take payment, kill the monster, don't get involved in politics. But neutrality is harder than it sounds. When war breaks out between Temeria and Nilfgaard, both sides try to hire witches as assassins. When you refuse, they both see you as an enemy. The years pass. You're 30 now, then 40, then 50. Witches age slowly. The mutations extend your lifespan considerably. You'll probably live for over a century if something doesn't kill you first.
Damn.
But that's really not as great as it sounds, because everyone you might care about ages normally. You can never have real relationships. You're sterile, so that means no family. You're constantly traveling, so you don't have a permanent home. You're feared and hated, so that means no real friends outside of the other witches. You meet people, have brief connections, then move on. You're also dealing with the emotional effects of the mutations. You still feel things, anger, satisfaction, affection, but they're muted. It's like experiencing emotions through a thick pane of glass. Some witches say this is a blessing, that it helps them do their job without hesitation. Others say it makes them feel hollow. By your 60s, you're a veteran. You've killed dozens of monsters, survived dozens of injuries that really should have killed you, and earned a reputation. People know your name, not in a good way, but they know it. But you're also just tired. The constant travel, the injury.
Wait, so how old is Geralt? That nigga 60? I know they age mad slow. How old is Geralt? Geralt look like he could be maybe 40s. But then what's the name? What's that witch name that he was with? It's not Gwen. That's Spider-Man. Is it Gwen? Let me see. Gwent. Wait. No, that's the name of. Oh shit. Oh no.
Injuries, the loneliness.
Whatever her name was.
It wears on you. Some witches retire to Kaer Morhen, spending their final years training the next generation of boys.
Oh, so you can retire. Oh. What do you mean some witchers? Witchers don't retire. Every witcher dies in battle. What do you mean retire?
who'll probably die during the trial of the grasses. Others keep working until something finally kills them. You choose to keep working. You're 73 now, which is old for a human, but middle-aged for a witcher. You take a contract for a fiend, a massive, antlered monster with hypnotic powers that's been killing travelers on a forest road. You track it for 2 days and finally corner it into a clearing. The fight is brutal. The fiend is strong, fast, and its hypnosis almost gets you twice. But you're experienced, and you know what you're doing. You dodge its charge, roll under its legs, and drive your silver sword up through its chest. The fiend collapses. You're about to finish it off when you hear a noise behind you. It charges before you can react. Its antlers catch you in the chest, and you feel your ribs crack. You've survived 73 years, dozens of monsters, and this is how it ends. Killed in a forgotten forest because the village who hired you didn't mention there might be more than one. The fiend's antlers come down. You manage to cast Queen at the last second, but the shield breaks, and the next strike catches you in the throat.
Damn.
You die there in the forest, alone. Just another Witcher who didn't make it home. The villagers eventually send someone to check on you. They find your body, and they take your swords and medallions to sell, even though the medallion won't work for them. And they bury you in an unmarked grave. They're just relieved that the monster problem is solved. But that's what it means to be a Witcher. You're taken as a child, put through training that's basically designed to kill you. You can't have a family, can't settle down, and can't escape what you've become. You lived a long time, but you spent most of it lonely, injured, and knowing that eventually some monster will be faster or stronger or luckier than you. And now that you're dead, no one will remember your name. You'll just be that Witcher who died near the village. And people will just be glad that you killed the monster and died before they had to pay you.
Let's get straight to the point.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we ain't forget Geralt, and that nigga basically died after season 3, right? We can all agree there's no season 4. That nigga died after season 3. Yo, good video, man. Shout out to him, whatever his account is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably have seen it. But yeah, shout out to him. That was a W video, man. Living life as a Witcher.